Good men don't leave suddenly. They leave slowly, while still standing right next to you. And the worst part? Most women don't even realize what's pushing them away until it's too late. I saw this happen with someone close to me. She kept saying, "He changed." But when I watched closely, it wasn't that simple. He didn't change overnight. He withdrew, little by little. Less talking, less effort, less presence. Until one day, he was still there physically, but completely gone emotionally. That's where the first mistake begins. Not what you think. It's not about looks. It's not about doing more. It's about something much quieter. Constant criticism. Not loud, not aggressive, just small corrections. "You always forget this. Why don't you do it this way? That's not how it should be." Individually, harmless. But repeated daily, they change how a man feels around you. Not appreciated, not respected, just constantly evaluated. I remember the moment she noticed it. He stopped sharing things. Not big things, small ones. And that's when the distance started. So what changed it? She didn't compliment more. She became aware of her tone. Instead of correcting immediately, she paused. Instead of pointing out flaws, she acknowledged effort. Small shift, big impact. Because when a man feels accepted, he stays open. And when that feeling disappears, he doesn't fight. He just slowly pulls back. And most women miss that moment completely. The second thing doesn't look harmful either. In fact, it often feels like love, being available all the time. I saw this in another story, a woman named Julia. She said, "I gave him everything, my time, my attention, my priority." And she did. She adjusted her schedule, picked up every call, changed plans to fit his. At first, he appreciated it, felt cared for. But slowly, something shifted. Not in what she did, in how it felt. Because when someone is always available, they slowly stop feeling valuable. Not intentionally, but naturally. I asked her when she noticed it. She said, "When he stopped making an effort, because he knew I would always be there anyway." That moment matters, because attraction isn't just about closeness. It's also about space, about choosing each other, not defaulting into each other. So what changed? She didn't pull away completely. She created space, started saying, "I'm busy today," kept her own plans, her own routine. Not to play games, but to return to herself. And something shifted. He started reaching out more, paying attention again, because now her presence wasn't guaranteed. It was chosen. And that changes everything. So the mistake isn't caring too much. It's losing your own life while doing it. Because when you do that, he doesn't feel closer. He just feels less need to show up. And that's where distance begins. The third thing is the one most women don't notice at all. Because it doesn't show up in words. It shows up in energy, emotional pressure. I remember a woman named Natalie. She didn't complain, didn't argue much, but she expected something constantly, reassurance. "Do you still love me?" Why didn't you call earlier? Are you sure everything is okay? Individually, those questions seem normal, but repeated daily, they create weight, not connection. At first, he responded, reassured her, tried to show up. But over time, his energy changed. Less enthusiasm, shorter responses. Not because he didn't care, but because he felt responsible for her emotional state. And that's heavy. I asked her when she realized it. She said, when he stopped answering with feeling and started answering out of habit. That line says everything. Because attraction needs space, not constant emotional demand. So what changed? She stopped asking for reassurance and started building it within herself. Focused on her own routine, her own stability. Instead of pulling from him, she grounded herself. And slowly, something shifted. He became more present again, more natural, because now he wasn't being pulled. He was choosing to come closer. And that's the difference. Because when a man feels like he has to carry your emotions, he doesn't feel closer. He feels pressure. And pressure doesn't keep a man. It slowly pushes him away without a single argument. The fourth thing doesn't look like a problem. It looks like being honest, saying exactly what you feel every time. I saw this with a woman named Erica. She believed in openness. No filters, she said. If something bothers me, I say it. At first, that sounds healthy. But here's what she didn't notice. It wasn't what she said. It was how often and how sharply. Every small irritation became a comment. Every disagreement, a correction. Nothing stayed unspoken. And over time, that changed something, not in her, in him. I asked her when she first noticed the shift. She said, when he stopped responding and just said, okay, to everything. That's not understanding. That's withdrawal. Because constant correction doesn't feel like honesty. It feels like pressure, like nothing you do is ever quite right. So what changed? She didn't stop being honest. She became selective. She asked herself, does this need to be said right now? Some things she let go. Some things she softened. And some things she brought up calmly, not immediately. That changed the tone. The space between them felt lighter, safer. Because now he wasn't bracing for the next comment. He was present, and that matters. Because honesty without awareness can slowly turn into criticism. And when that becomes daily life, a good man doesn't argue. He just stops opening up. And once that happens, distance follows, quietly. The fifth thing is the one that confuses most women, because it feels like strength. I don't need anyone. That's what a woman named Carla told me. She had been through a lot, built her life on her own, handled everything herself, and she carried that into the relationship. At first, it looked admirable, independent, capable, strong. But slowly, something shifted, not in her actions, in how he felt around her. I asked her what changed. She said, "He stopped trying to do things for me, not because he didn't care, but because he didn't feel needed. And that matters more than most people realize. Because a good man doesn't just want to be there, he wants to contribute, to feel useful, to feel like he adds something to your life. But when everything is handled, everything is controlled, there's no space left for him to step in. So he steps back, quietly, without conflict." So what changed? She didn't become dependent. She became open, allowed small things, accepted help. Let him do something, even if she could do it herself. And that shifted everything, because now he felt involved again, not necessary for survival, but valued for presence. And that's the difference. Because independence is powerful, but when it turns into emotional distance, it pushes people away, and a good man won't fight that. He'll just slowly stop finding his place in your life. The last thing is the one most women don't expect, because it doesn't feel negative, it feels comfortable. Losing the emotional spark. Not suddenly, slowly, through routine, predictable conversations, predictable reactions, predictable energy. I remember a woman named Hannah. She said, "There was no problem, but there was no excitement either. No tension, no curiosity, no emotional pull. Everything became known. And when everything is known, nothing feels new." I asked her when she noticed it. She said, "When he stopped looking at me the same way, even though nothing was wrong." That's the part most people miss. Attraction isn't just about love. It's about emotional variation, energy, presence, something that makes a person feel engaged. So what changed? She didn't try to be different. She became more aware, less predictable in her reactions, more present in conversations, sometimes playful, sometimes quieter, not forcing anything, just not being automatic. And slowly something shifted. His attention came back. Not because she chased it, but because she changed the energy. And that's what ties everything together. Good men don't leave because of one big reason. They leave because of small patterns, repeated daily. And the good news? Those same patterns can be changed. If something here felt familiar, don't ignore it. Start small. And if this gave you a new perspective, consider liking and subscribing, because sometimes one small shift is all it takes to change everything.